Okay, welcome everybody. Here we are at our kickoff for our Counting the Eimer Sfira Transformation program. We are getting started, and Baruch Hashem, our timeline is perfect, and we get to do this kickoff before Yud Aleph Nisan. It's really such a schus for anyone watching in the future. This is 120 years of the Rebbe's, since the Rebbe's birth, so it's 120th birthday. And I want to give a little extra present to everybody today, being that Yud Aleph Nisan is a time where many people go visit the Ayil. We have a few SAI, Systematic Avodah Initiatives ago, we gave Ayil writing cards. It's a little card that you can keep in your wallet, and it teaches you how to write different letters to the Rebbe. So you have how to start a pan, how to start a michtav, a letter, and how to start a duch, a din v'cheshbon. So you have all the beginnings of all of them. So we have those to give out as well for everybody. Okay, so what is Systematic Avodah Initiative? Systematic Avodah Initiative is one of several programs that we do throughout the year where we help women take the time and really live it. The example I usually give is that we say, okay, Elul is a time for tshuva. Elul is a time for tshuva. Elul is a time for tshuva. So first day of Elul, second day of Elul, tshuva. You have to do tshuva. By that, for Shabbos, we have to do tshuva. And then we all forbring that we have to do tshuva. And comes Pashat Shabbos Slichus, and we're like, I have to do tshuva. And because we didn't make bite-sized daily pieces that we could do to actually make that process realistic, the time passes and we may not have taken advantage of it. We may not have really used it up to the fullest extent. So I lost track of how many years ago, but several years ago, we started this program based on Rabbi Simon Jacobson's book, and it was such a hit. Well, the first year on Tishrei, the like Elul Tishrei one, we got to Yom Kippur, and after that, everybody kind of like petered off. Then the next year, I said, okay, let's do like regular Farbrengens, and then we got to Sukkot, and then everyone kind of petered off. So the next year, I said, okay, we have to do Farbrengens and prizes, and that was the first year a sizable amount of women completed the entire program. So I said, okay, we hit our sweet spot. Now we know what the program should be like. And from that point on, we began to build on it. So we did one for the Chassidus New Year, which is Kislev and Tishrei, Kislev and Kislev and a bit of Teves. And then a few years after that, we realized there's this amazing, amazing book called Counting the Eimer, and I will show to everybody. We have, I think this is mine that I couldn't find on Shabbos. This looks like mine. Okay, Baruch Hashem. Now I found it. So every step of the way, so it says how to use the book, has a little introduction into how to use the book. And then it explains, hold on, let me move forward, the whole idea of preparing ourselves between Pesach, which is the time when we leave our, Yetzias Mitzrayim, the general Yetzias Mitzrayim back then, our every single day Yetzias Mitzrayim, and our personal Yetzias Mitzrayim, and how we can take that level of leaving our personal confinements, whether it's our own mindset. I don't know anybody that was here. I think Shalomit was here, but during the Haggadah preparation class, we spoke about a friend who spoke to me, and she called me basically saying that she gave extra tzedakah for everyone who heard the Beryl Solomon talk. She gave extra tzedakah in the hopes that she would get a higher paying job. And then she got an offer for a higher paying job, and it so intimidated her that she was too scared to take it. So she was calling me basically saying, I need you to help me talk me through my own fears, because I made the keli to have a higher paying job. Hashem is giving me the bracha to have a higher paying job, But in here and in here, in my mind and in my heart, I'm too afraid. And many times we hold ourselves back from big things. And at that point, we had some wine, and I openly shared that my personal struggle right now is that we are getting a lot of talk about buying a house. People even are dreaming about us buying a house, and they're messaging me that they're having dreams that I'm buying a house. And right now I am, yes, I'm not, but they are on my behalf. And I will admit that my own personal gullus, I am right now too afraid, not too afraid, but I'm getting there. So anyway, many times our own fears is really truly what holds us back. So step one is Pesach, and Pesach is the time when we say Ad Kan. This is the end. We're going to make real true change. The upside of Pesach is that it's super inspiring. 4 cups of wine. We have all these talks, and it's so inspiring. And we say the Megillah, and it's a wow, yeah, we're gonna get out of here. Oh, it's amazing. And then Chamaid comes. We've gone the trips, everything gone. And then comes Mashiach Suda, and again we're all hyped up. Mashiach's gonna come right now, and it's so inspiring. And then the next day is Isra Chag, and then school starts again, work starts again, and we just jump back into like many of our old ways. So Hashem gave us an incredible bracha. It's called Sfira Transformation. And through Sfira Transformation, we take the beauty of the like explosive impetus of Pesach, like the wow inspiration, and we break it down to daily bite-sized things that we can work on. Chesed sheba chesed. How can I be more of a kind person? How can I be truly giving? How can I be sensitive to others? How can I be understanding, right? And then we jump to Gevura sheba chesed. And it's like, okay, one second. I gave. How can I be understanding and giving within confines of who needs it? How can I be sensitive to the person who's receiving it? Like every single step, every single day has a bite-sized idea, a concept that we can work on, so that by the time we get to Shavuos and we really are truly present through this time, we've worked on ourselves and made the long-lasting change, right? For anyone who's learned Chassidus, anyone who's learned Tanya, there's the long, short way and the short, long way. So Pesach is, it's like, sweep us up with inspiration. Hopefully most of us, I'll bench everyone, they should all be swept up with inspiration on Pesach and not just resentment of cleaning. And then we have to do the long, short way. We have to do every single step, every single day, a little bite size of reading, a little bite size of weekly journaling. Make this program real, really change your life. And you'll see by Shavuos, you'll be a different person receiving the Torah. You'll be truly in a different place. And even if you can't quite pinpoint it, and that's in certain ways, the best change is that change that you can't quite pinpoint, but you know you're in a different place. That's like deep. If you can pinpoint it, it's something that you were doing and now you stopped doing. That's okay, that's beautiful. We've changed an action. But sometimes when we do a process that's slower and more in depth, our mindset changes so drastically that we don't even realize how much we've changed, because we start to see the world through this new perspective. Does that make sense?
To be aware of like, oh well, look how far I've come. Sometimes I like look back on stuff. I'm like, oh, I used to be this person, but like, what happened? What made it different? I feel like I'm so different, but in what way did I actually change? And then I just get confused. So you're saying like it's a good thing?
Yes, it's a beautiful thing. It means you have changed so deeply that you're not at odds with yourself. Many times we take on a achlata and we're like, okay, I have to do this and I have to do that, and we force. It's like we're taking like a round peg and forcing it into a square box. Like it's just like and like there's that push. But if we change our mindset, we end up scraping off the sides and turning the round peg into a square, and then we just go in smoothly, and it's beautiful. Does that make sense? The deepest change is the one that you sometimes don't even notice. Yes, so that is the goal. The why. Why do we do this program? is that this time could just be passed and we can mumble every single night, mumble some words and do our shtick and then continue on and go to, speaking of, reminder about Nasi, mumbling words. So every single night, it's not just the mumbling words, every single night is an opportunity for true change. It's an opportunity for a deep change, even if at the end of the time, you don't realize you've changed, you know that somewhere deep inside, something has shifted. You see the world differently. So that's the why. The reason why you should continue, although the prizes are nice, but the reason why you should continue is for your true application and use of this amazing time period. Because you could get to Shavuos and be so deeply connected with yourself and so deeply open to this beautiful change that you've made. And beautiful change in good things. It doesn't have to be a push a square into a round peg into a square box. It could be a smooth, every night we just, wipe off or sand the sides and then we're going to go in smoothly. Does that make sense?
But it's done every year. So how much more could you change?
Oh, there's.
Yeah, like how many times are you?
I'm saying like you're working on the same exact stuff every single year.
So you could be working on the same exact stuff, and I'll tell you, we've been doing. I even lost track, but we've been doing the Tishrei one for 7 years, and this past year, I went through my old journals from the 7 years, and I found the achlatas that I had taken through those years and how incredibly different of a person I am now.
Wow.
And I never would have known.
Wow.
Like, I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm taking on the same stuff. Like, oh yeah, I still want to daven better. I still want to learn. I still want to, whatever. But we may not realize that we've actually changed a ton and we just didn't, because we're sanding. Sanding is a smooth process. It's not a crushing push. So yes, it's possible that you may write the exact same journal, but just know that you're in a spiral and it's spiral upwards. And even if you write the exact same words this year, they mean something else than they meant last year. Like, for real.
So my question is specifically, you were saying how we work on the chesed, worship the chesed, like it's the same characteristic of a person we're working on again.
Yeah.
Like if you get there, then the next year you don't need to stand. So you
Well,
think there's always some
there's
something.
the beauty and the obnoxiousness of Gullus is that you never get there. There's never a there. I used to think, I'm like, okay, once I'm married, once I have my first kid, once I've once I've davened this type of davening, once I've learned that sefer, once I've taken that job, once I've quit that job, we always have this like dangling carrot, like it just keeps going, but there's never a there. And that's the real truth. There's never a there. So yes, next year, you may reach the potential, correction, let me rewind the sentence. This year, you may reach the full potential of the chesed shebechesed that you can accomplish for this time frame of today. And then next year, you will still have another level of growth in chesed shebechesed that you can also expand to. And that's the beauty of it. In parentheses, there's an incredible mimer about Sukkot. How Sukkot draws down your potential for growth for the entire year. So even if you did every single thing perfectly wonderful today or this entire year, next Sukkot, you're going to take your little esrog, you're going to shake it inside the Sukkah, you're going to bring it to your heart, and through that, you're going to draw down your growth potential for this coming year. Because we're just growing, we're moving, we're constantly expanding, and that's exactly what Hashem wants from us. Our imperfection is not a bad thing, is the way Hashem made us so that we can keep going. Does that make sense? Yay! A pleasure. Any other questions? Yes, go for it.
I heard a really cool podcast that like finally explained this whole idea to me in a way I can understand. She described how like like, let's say you're a person and like you're trapped inside like a cage, like you're like a caged lion and you're trapped inside this boundary. And then like, first of all, if you don't even realize how big the boundary is, like if you're stuck in yourself, you're not even gonna hit the gate. If you hit the gate, it means that you're expanding enough that you're like coming up against a challenge. So that's already a good thing. And then if you overcome that challenge and you go past it, then like you're in a bigger place. And if you hit another boundary, that's because you're in a bigger space now. So you like come across, like come against something in a bigger space. Make sense?
That's really
I love that.
Like it's not like, oh, I'm here again. It's like, no, I've expanded and now like I've grown so big that like these boundaries are like I'm growing out of these new boundaries.
Mhm.
Like that's a good thing.
That is beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. Does that make sense for the why? Why are we doing this program? Why are we gonna put these two things, or correction, why are we gonna put these three things somewhere where we're gonna see them constantly for the next more 8 weeks? Because we're starting, yeah, basically. Whether it's your breakfast table, whether it's your nightstand, whether it's wherever you put your random things that you look at every day, I don't know. Wherever that is, but you're going to choose to put this somewhere where it's going to constantly remind you of your growth, of the daily reading, of the weekly journaling, and of Be'ezus Hashem, the bi-weekly bring-ins and the bi-weekly prizes.
Isn't it bi-monthly? Bi-weekly, bi-monthly will be every 2 months.
Every 2 months.
So bi-weekly means every other week.
So actually, we looked it up. Asterisk on the bottom, teeny tiny print. We looked it up a few years ago when we started this program. Bi-weekly could mean twice a week, or it could mean every other week. Both definitions are true.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So no, we're not promising prizes twice a week. Yeah.
Come on.
No. Yeah, exactly. So, okay. So now let's see how it works. This is the book. Between now and Pesach, I know we have a lot to do, but I would lovingly suggest to read. I think there's like, okay, there's 4 pages, little tiny pages. These are not like, this is not a college textbook. This is simple stuff. We can do it.
Is it fancy English?
I don't think it's fancy English. Sometimes it goes into Kabbalah, but like it explains it, for my opinion. So if you guys would like, if you want, bing. If you would like, you could do about a page a day between now and then. You could already get yourselves in the right mindset about how to do it. But basically, yes, Sfira counting starts the second day of Pesach.
That's what this reading starts.
Correct. There's an introduction to every single one of the middays. Week 1 is Chesed, and it gives a little introduction about what Chesed is. There we go. Then you start the counting. This is the amount, and it's probably the longest of all the pages. Yeah. Some of them are most of them are shorter than this, but this is really not complicated. Like we got this. We can do it. Reading this, at the bottom, throughout it has some questions. And at the bottom, it also has an exercise for the day. Your job is at least once a week, although I know, Chol Moed Pesach, there's a complication in regards to writing. So you can either catch up or you could not. You can do whatever you want. But I understand the Chol Moed Pesach is complicated. So there's questions, and then there's a journal. You can choose to either answer the questions, or you can journal about your experience trying to do the exercise for the day. Then comes the next day. So every single day there's, you see, even this one, teeny tiny, a page of reading. And at the back of the book, there's an actual counting with all the full extent of all the davening. Hold on. Okay, here. So in the back of the book, it has the actual bracha. It has the harachaman. So then you say this piece, and then at the back down here, a cool trick that I do is I just hold it like that so I can see the proper line. So like every night I just lower the. Makes
So
sense?
the bracha is the last, that page is the last page.
Yes. So here's the bracha. Here are all the tefillos that you were meant to say. It even has it in English.
So there's an exercise every night.
Yes.
And you do that, and then the journal thing is what.
Yes. You can choose whichever one of the nights. There's not a specific one. Any one that you feel connected to, you can journal about that. And very important part about the journal, it is between you and Hashem. You do not have to show me it. You don't have to send me pictures. I trust your word. The Eibishter knows the truth. It says between you and Hashem. And just to clear some confusion, readings on a daily basis. If you would have missed the bracha on counting Sfira Transformation, then you would miss the prize. Does that make sense? So if you missed it one night, but you catch up without a bracha the next day and you still do it, fine, beautiful, you're still in. If you missed it and you went the full day or 2 days or 3 days, then that you can catch up and you totally should, but no. Now, here's my caveat about catching up. Many people have different types of Yetzer Haras. Many people have different types of Yetzer Haras. I'll tell you my Yetzer Hara. My Yetzer Hara sometimes says, oh, I need to catch up and do it perfectly. And then I spend so much time catching up that I never actually read the day that I'm meant to be reading. And then I always fall apart and fall behind. Yes, the whole thing falls apart. I don't fall apart, but the whole thing falls apart. So if it's easier for you to just jump right on, just jump right on. Keep going. Keep going. If you missed one quota, jump right on. You can still get the prize for the next quota. It doesn't have to be consecutive. Yes, 2 weeks.
By 2 weeks.
Yes. So if you miss the prize for one quota, you can jump right on, continue on to the next quota. Make sense? Wonderful. I think that's it in short. We have an incredible lineup of speakers. Oh, great. We have an incredible suggestion over here. It's Hashem. Our next meeting will be Wednesday. Oh, all of our Farbringans are on Wednesdays, every other Wednesday. Just to give you a heads up, our Mondays after Pesach, we have a shir that we're going to launch. Our Wednesdays after Pesach, 1 week is going to be SAI Farbringen, and 1 week is going to be a woman speaker talking about women's topics, not health per se, but Chassidus women's topics. So get pumped. So save your Mondays, save your Wednesdays. Yes, forever and ever. And we just booked, this is brand new, fresh from the print. We just booked with, not just, a few days ago, we booked with Sarah Chana Silverstein for the Sunday, not Sunday Isra Chag, but the Sunday after that, to do a Crown Heights herb walk. We're going to walk around finding all the medicinal herbs that grow literally within the cracks of Crown Heights.
Wow.
So get
We
excited.
could even take, it belongs to people in our garden.
She's going to teach us what is what. So yeah, so I'm super pumped. Get excited. We'll see you guys very soon. Reminder that we have cards. Everyone that's going to the aisle, which basically means everyone in the upcoming days, there are cards about how to go and write to the aisle. And this for Yud Aleph Nissen, in my opinion, I am no head Rav or Mashpia, but Yud Aleph Nissen is a pun type of situation. So yeah, awesome. May we go from strength to strength.
Amen.
Thank you.
My
So if we miss
pleasure.
the bracha, which I hope this doesn't happen,
Yes,
then the next day you say the bracha, you say without a bracha, and then you're good, so,
yes.
right?
As long as you
Once
catch
get
it.
to the next night, it's over, right?
If you miss,
For that 2 weeks, yeah.
No, it's all, I'm talking about just.
oh, the actual bracha.
So you can't see bracha anymore,
So
right?
here's how it works. If chas v'shalom someone forgets the bracha, or someone forgets counting, the next day she can count without a bracha. That night she cannot forget. If she forgets that night, then that's
More
gone.
bracha.
So she could still do the counting.
Yes, she should still count, but just without bracha. Which you could also wait for someone in your household or in shul or whatever to make the bracha. You say amen, and you make your count, and it could help. Okay, awesome.
Thank you.
I thought if you forget night one and then you say it on day one, then you could say it again on day two, and then night 3, you could say it with a bracha.
I'm gonna stick to what you said. So
One
I don't get
second.
It's too
confused.
complicated for me.